It's a poison. That doesn't help the stress level. No, don't do it. Get a grip. This stupid video I just showed you. I almost stroked out and died over it. You're watching a different show. It's donkey. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship. Don't do this to me, Harry. The Ohio State. It's Ohio State. What do you mean, the? 312-988-15.
Hello?
You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. Yeah. That's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, folks. I got to tell you, Notre Dame just keeps winning football games, you guys. Like, I've been in such a weird spot with this team all year. And it's just a bizarre year. And the first 2 weeks were the wildest 2 weeks you could possibly ever have as far as a swing on the high-low for a football team. You don't know what you could trust. You don't know what you could believe. We have 98 guys injured off the team that are key contributors. You're worried is all get out every single game. You're worried about everything. And then they just keep winning. So I don't know where this leaves us, you guys. Go with the flow. They just keep winning football games. They just keep winning football games. And as long as they just have that one in the loss column, this is going to be interesting all the way through. And the other thing is, callers, I'll get to you. Thanks for jumping in early on a Monday. We're wide awake. The other thing, I've spent so much time, I was thinking about this yesterday, you guys. I spent so much time thinking and feeling, I don't feel like I could trust this team because of what you did against Northern, and I'm on the alert for them not to show up every week. And you know the routine. If you showed me you're capable of playing that bad, I'm on alert for it all the time, whatever. And I keep worrying about that, and then they just keep playing good enough football to win these games. Adam says these injuries are just too much. Enjoy seeing the youth get the experience. Like, that's what they just keep winning. And as long as they just keep winning, this is fun. Like, it's okay to dive in and go for this ride. I don't know where it's going to lead. I don't know where 11-1 puts Notre Dame. I don't know where 10-2 puts I think 10-2 puts Notre Dame in the Camping World Bowl that none of us give a crap about is where I think 10-2 puts us. That's where 10-2 puts you. In the Camping World Bowl, nobody cares about. Okay? That's where that puts you. So this is like riding out any real excitement here. It's got to be 11-1. But it's really interesting the way this whole thing has come together. And it's just been, Greg says, I'm only awake because I have 2 doctor's appointments today. Well, God bless you on both of them. I hope they don't find anything wrong with you. It's the Pop-Tart Bowl. Get it right. Yeah, like, can you imagine how lame it's going to be if you miss the playoff and you're in the Pop-Tart Bowl and everybody's excited about this 12-team playoff and it isn't even 4 teams, it's 12, and all these fan bases are excited and whatever, and here we are trying to win. What do you win if you win the Pop-Tart Bowl? Isn't it a Pop-Tart with arms? Is the logo and everything? Nobody's here for that. Nobody cares. No one's here for that. Go 11-1 and make the playoff, and then let's see where we're at. Go 11-1 and make the playoff and see where we're at. And you know what else? Rodney, I see you here. You know what else I was going to try and do? What I was going to try and do is get through today and make it about the last game and just make it about what we've done to this point or whatever. And then maybe when we get to Wednesday's live show, get into the minutia of Navy and all the unique, there's layers on layers on layers of stuff with this Navy matchup. More than any regular year, there's layer on layer on layer with this, with the Navy stuff this year. Them being undefeated, them John eats Pop-Tarts with no frosting. Well, you're damn right. The original strawberry is the only one I eat. It's the original one they came out with, and you can't do better than the original. The original strawberry unfrosted is the best Pop-Tart. No, I don't toast them. You don't need that. You don't need to toast no Pop-Tart. But what I'm saying, you know what I'm talking about. The regular, just the no frosting strawberry. It's the original way, baby. And it's the best one. I've had this argument before, and you're not going to beat me in this argument. You get into these Pop-Tarts where it's double fudge, chocolate brownie, Pop-Tart, or whatever. That ain't breakfast. That's cake. That's dessert. I've been arguing this for years. It's a breakfast food. You get a double chocolate fudge, double Pop-Tart with frosting on the top. That is dessert. That is no longer a breakfast pastry. That is dessert. And I'm against it. I'm not against it, but I'm against it being called breakfast. It ain't breakfast at that point. That is a dessert treat. And I ain't here for it. Regular strawberry. I don't need. And the frosting's garbage, you guys. It's all hard. That ain't real frosting. It's just glued on fake sugar. Anyways. Jerry Reinsdorf's burner. John is against me. Yeah, the whole city is, pal. Get in line. It isn't just John. The whole city's against you. Get used to it. Nobody likes you. Anyways. I wanted to make this all kind of about where we're at now. And then maybe when we get into Wednesday, we get into all the Navy stuff. So I have all these Notre Dame anxieties. I know that this team is flawed. I know they're really banged up. I'm worried about it every single day of my existence. And they just keep winning, you guys. They just keep winning. And it's really, really fair. It's fair to ride this out and be excited about Notre Dame games. And what Navy's going to be just weird in its own tricky way. And the way it goes with Notre Dame and Navy is you either crush them and you stomp out everything they're doing, or it's a long day. It feels like there's no in between. You either crush them totally, shut down everything they're going to do, or it's literally you're sweating it out till the last second. There doesn't really seem to be any in between. And it's going to be a test to see how mature this Notre Dame team is. And I'm not making it about Navy today. But you guys, you cannot be in a situation at Notre Dame where you may lose to Northern Illinois and then a military academy in the same year. I don't need to explain why you can't do that at Notre Dame, right? So you cannot be in a position where you lose to Northern and then one of these academies. So you better figure this out. And if you crush these guys or even just win the game and then get to the bye, now you're looking at 11-1 as a real possibility. All right, we got a bunch of callers. Let me get into the. We got a super chat here, and then I'll go to the callers early since there's a bunch of them. Image, John arguing Pop-Tarts with the cemetery crew, exhuming a body. I'm just telling you, man, I got an opinion on everything. And those Pop-Tarts, Adam was talking about John like an over easy eggs or whatever. I don't know whatever the eggs thing is where it's all runny and it's just like there's a baby chicken there and it's all runny and everything. I don't do that. Whatever that runny egg thing is, that's disgusting. That is disgusting. So I don't do whatever you call that over easy, double sleazy, extra cheesy. I don't want it when it's a runny baby chicken all over the plate. Totally disgusting. Just the biggest turnoff. Totally disgusting. A slimy egg. I'm looking at a baby chicken's brains. It's all slimy. That is disgusting. Disgusting. Give me a fluffy scrambled egg here, man. It's with a slimy egg. Oh, it's a bit chicken. Oh, I can't handle it. It's almost as bad as like, oh, what do you want? Oh, I want a piece of fish. Oh, here it is. You know what's a luxury item? We'll serve you a fish on a wood plank, and the head's there, and the eyes are there, and the fish's teeth are there, and it's all looking right at you. Here's your luxury dinner. This country's outrageous. Anyways, Ohio Pod, good to see you here. I hope you enjoyed the bye. My 4-year-old's less picky than John. Well, good for your 4-year-old. I have my tastes and I have my reasons, okay? I have my reasons. Should the toilet... I'll be honest, I don't think I've ever paid attention to that one time in my life. I don't think I don't think makes any difference to me at all. And I can't tell you how mine are. I've never even thought of it because it's such not a big deal. Probably won't beat Army. I got a long time to worry about that first. You got to beat Navy before I worry about Army. And the other thing is these teams are winning. But are they playing anybody? Seriously, these teams are winning, but are they playing anybody? It's just, why would I want to dip my toast in a runny baby chicken's head? Like, that's literally what you're asking me to do, Adam. Why? That's where my brain goes. You're asking me to dip my toast in a runny baby chicken's remains. I'm not doing it. That's disgusting. I'm not doing it. No, I ain't doing it. Anyways, so they're killing people. I understand. So how do you... John's going vegan. Yeah, that's right. I'm going vegan. I'm going to go mow the lawn and eat the clippings. Are you out of your mind? I don't even know what vegan is other than I just picture some hipster or something in Chicago, in Bucktown in Chicago. Ooh, I'm a vegan. I don't even know what that means. You eat grass clippings or what? Anyways. Huh? Who doesn't like eggs? John loves eggs. Scrambled the right way, not runny. Not a runny dead chicken on the plate. I can't handle that. It's disgusting. The 80s guy, $20 holler. If you looked at Navy's schedule, it's worse than ours. They haven't played anybody. I think Notre Dame will win this week. I apologize for my comment last Friday. I'm really sorry. I hope you're not mad. Don't be offended, but I don't remember what you said, so it couldn't have been that mean. Literally, I don't remember what you said, so don't worry about me being offended. I have no idea. John is on a chicken tender, hot dog, and cheese pizza diet. You're damn right. And on that hot dog, ketchup only. Ketchup only. Don't get me started on people that call it a hot dog, but it's a salad. I'm not doing it. I don't want a 9-inch pickle on there and slices of a bunch of crap on there. What are you doing? No. John prefers the powdered eggs served at school. Oh, man. He drinks Miller Lite over Guinness as well. Oh, man. I got to maintain my form. Somebody said I looked like I was in better shape at that 19 Virginia game with Jack Sacco, that picture of me being all mad. And I'm saying, just because we got that scoop and score doesn't mean it's okay. The offense sucks. And I probably did weigh a little more. I told you guys I lost a bunch of weight when the wife and the baby almost died and everything, and it was all stressful, and the baby was in the NICU, and I didn't know what was going to happen, and my body reacted to the stress. I lost like 22 pounds in 3 weeks, I think, and I never gained it back. That's what happened. It's just I got stressed out from life stuff, and that's how my body reacted. I lost like 20-something pounds. It would have been 2020, and I lost like 20 pounds, man. So I don't know. Anyways, let's see. Tom Frawley. We're going to the callers. There's a big bank of callers. I want to know what you guys think. John, I broke down. Oh, yeah, crazy boy. It was great. We had a helicopter ride with the wife and then this and that. Everybody, it was a big ordeal. John can't do anything normal. John settles down and as a kid and it all goes wrong and everything. It's a huge medical nightmare. Right when John settles down and grows up. That's what I get. It can't just go normal. It's this huge ordeal. Anyways. John, I broke down the Navy film from their last 3 games. I felt like, never mind. ND's been practicing against Navy for 2.5 weeks now. ND will smoke Navy as long as they're disciplined. More to come later this week. Again, this is what I want to say. When you You're talking about discipline and eye discipline and knowing your lanes and knowing your cues, all of the boring stuff we repeat about how you got to defend Navy. And you got these smart guys at Notre Dame, and they should be able to know their keys and know their role and stay in their gap and wrap up and all this crap we talk about with Navy. That's where it comes into play that half of your team resides in a cemetery. That's where my mind goes, is that's the part, man. That's where it gets me. Is I'm like, now you got all these young guys out there running around. Are they going to be able to be eye disciplined to do all the stuff I need them to do against this Navy team in that situation? Brown M&M says, you need a cat in your life, my dude. If you want this show to never go on the air again, throw a cat in this room. My throat will close up so fast, you have no idea. No idea. Unbelievable cats, man. If there's a cat in the same room as me, I start getting a scratchy throat. Oh, my eyes start itching. 2 minutes later, I can't breathe. So if you want to ruin John's life, throw a cat in my lap, so to speak. Anyways. John's a dog lover. And the other thing is, the kind of dog matters. The kind of dog matters. I'm a dog person. But I've never been one of these people. I can't, like a dog I could step on and end it. I just can't do that. Like but I don't need like a dog the size of a cow, but like, I don't like them yappy little dogs you could step on and end them either. I like a dog that can like serve a practical purpose anyways. So I'm picky with dogs too. It can't be just some little rat that you take a wrong step and you end its life. Like it can't be that. It can't be that. Oh, boy. Whew. All right. We need to take these calls. 419, you're on. If you're on hold, we're going to get to you. We're going to blow through these. 419, what's up?
Hey, what's going on? This is the happiest I've been since the loss.
Oh, Mark. It is the weirdest feeling where we're at this season, man. Ever since week 2, everybody kind of halfway checked out, is halfway watching, but scared of what they're going to see. And then they just keep winning and keep winning and keep winning. And here you are. Like, where does this leave us? Are we all getting sucked in to get let down again? Like, where does this leave us, Mark? What are we doing?
Yeah, and I don't want to beat a dead horse, but with Jeremiah Love, like I know he got a couple additional carries on Saturday. But has there ever been a greater disparity between how good a player is and the amount he gets used?
I don't know, man. And when you ask about this, like I have heard everything, Mark, I even heard a part of Dylan McCullough's recruiting pitch to these guys is in high school, we're not going to overuse you. We're going to spread out the carries so your career has longevity and we're not going to wear you down. And it's actually a feature they sell in recruiting, is that they're not going to run you all down into the ground and waste all your carries. So, like, I don't know if we're not thinking of this the modern way where, like, they want to conserve your carries as a running back. And the idea being you'll have maximum, energy when you do get carries or something. Like, but I have literally heard that it's just not an issue and we're the ones who just want it more. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how good of recruiting pitch that is to somebody that you're going to come and be watered down with other talent, but in a time when we're like,
I don't know, man.
In a time like we're desperate to attract skill players, and we've got one with SEC speed, like a difference maker, instead of like showcasing and featuring him, not only for the betterment of us now, but to help show that, this is somewhere to go. And it just feels like, for whatever reason, he just constantly deserves more touches than he gets. And like with Leonard being like so ball dominant, like we're constantly frustrated and anxious for Love to get the ball. And our quarterback and best running back are separated by 2 carries, 6 yards, and 0.1 yards per carry.
Maybe I don't know, man. Maybe the idea is to spread it out between that quarterback and the two main backs enough to where nobody knows who's getting the ball all the time and it's pretty equal, and you just put it in people's head or something. Like, and so I've thought about this, but then a lot of people are like, it's just not an issue. It's just something the fans are talking about or whatever. But the players don't mind it. They like their roles and they don't mind, and they're not getting. I don't know. I don't know, Mark. But the bigger picture is Notre Dame's won 5 games in a row. You're kind of stagnant in the polls, but if you keep winning, there's a lot going on in front of you. You're going to move up. Mark, where are you at, man? Are you like starting to get sucked back in? It's like the Godfather thing, right? When I think I'm out, they pull me back in again. Like, where are you? Are you on the verge of like buying back in and having a little energy or what? Where are we at here?
Yeah, I'm back in. Like Freeman's having his best season. And if you told me before the season, the only thing in our way of being 11-1 was Navy, Army, and Virginia. And then you'd say, well, what about Florida State and USC?
Yeah.
And Florida State's 1-6 and USC is 3-4. So like, you can't tell me there's a more manageable path that anybody would have foreseen coming. So like,
Mark, let me
back in.
Let me ask you this, Mark. I was thinking about this. I was writing an article last night. I really thought about this. Florida, this is all messed up, man. You're looking at the back half of Notre Dame's schedule, and if you told me there'd be a couple ranked teams, nobody would blink, but they would say it would be Florida State and USC. But it is not. It is both the military academies, and those brand name elements are struggling really, really bad. Mark, it is to the point where you can't be a team that lets Florida State get a win. Like, this is no longer like, oh, it's a rivalry game against Florida State. Like, this whole thing has changed. Like, it would be humiliating for Notre Dame and embarrassing for Notre Dame to give them another win. You can't be the team that allows that. Like, they are 1-6. They're playing Miami next. They're going to be 1-7. You can't be the team that lets Florida State rise up and get a win. You can't do it. It can't be you.
No, that cannot happen. And I know the 80s guy super chatted it, but Navy and Army, they haven't played anybody.
It's true.
13 wins.
It's true.
Between the two, one of those teams has a winning record. Everybody they've played has been nobody.
It's so true. And so, Mark, tell me if I'm a mean guy for saying this. We all know the keys to stopping a Navy type offense, and it's discipline, it's eye discipline, it's knowing your assignment, being where you need to be, being fundamentally sound, wrapping up on defense, all of that, being in your lanes, knowing your cues, how to read if it's a pitch, if it's this or that. And I keep hearing, Notre Dame's got smart guys. Notre Dame's got smart guys. Well, I need you to be smart, man. And I know we have backups in there playing and younger guys. I need you to use that feature I always hear about. Notre Dame guys are smart to do the right thing and be disciplined and play good defense and blow these pitches up.
Yeah, that stupid fullback dive.
Yep.
Gets 3-4 yards every damn carry. I'm already aggravated just thinking about
Me too.
Game, but
my hair's falling out already.
Right.
Dude, even a bad play gets like 3.5 or 4 yards. That's the frustrating part.
Like, maybe it's good that they're ranked and like Freeman can sell that to the team. It's not just Navy and Army. Like, there's a number next to them, so maybe that's a good thing. Like,
that's a fair point. That's a fair point. And I did hear they were working on defending this in the bye too. So they did get ahead of it, even though there's like football in between. I did hear that over the first break, they were working on Navy defense and all that. So like they have put some extra time into it. It makes me a little nervous that you have all these younger guys contributing on the defense, that maybe it'll be their first time playing Navy or in a key role. That causes me a little bit of anxiety. You go one wrong step with one of those pitches in a gap and it's a huge run. I hate it.
Yeah. And we're, we can't afford 3 and out against them. Obviously, we're going to need to have some ball control ourselves. And I really just hope nobody on Navy's defense should be able to catch him at all. So I really hope he's featured. And In closing, we need to finish 11-1 because this is all I've got over here. My Browns,
Yeah.
my Cleveland Browns, my Cleveland Browns were in the playoffs last season, and we hired a pass game specialist by the name of Tommy Reese. And since then, we've won one game, and we're the worst offense in the NFL.
That's rough. That's rough. Man, somebody should really look into that new guy's history and see if he has any history with successful football. Look into this guy's background a little bit. Jeez, what are you hiring a random guy off the street? Who is this guy?
Yeah, this is all I got. On top of that, my wife just switched us this almond milk, and I just saw that you were talking about the Pop-Tarts.
Wow.
I don't know if you've ever seen this almond milk, but it's gray colored. And I can't do it over here.
Well, wait a second. I mean, wait, milk is milk. If it comes from a nut, how could it be a milk? I don't understand.
I don't understand it either.
Wait, Mark, I don't understand. Wait, milk is milk. Milk is milk. Milk is milk that comes from like a cow. How do you get milk out of a nut? Do you just squeeze it until it becomes liquid? What is the liquid part of the almond?
I don't know. She was watching something on YouTube, but I can't do it. It looks like.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So. Yeah, we got problems over here.
That's weird. That's a little weird, man. Like, I don't know what she's trying to do, man. Like, you guys going on a cleanse or what are you trying to do? This is weird. I don't like it.
I don't know. She might have looked over, seen I'm getting a little beefy, maybe. I don't know. It's football season, you know? Man,
yeah, exactly. What do you expect? A lot of eating and a lot of drinking. Mark, God bless you, man. I know you ride and die with this team, and it's just we're in a weird spot. This is one of the weirdest feeling seasons that I've seen and covered, just with the way it's gone for Notre Dame and the schedule and the wins and loss. It is a bizarre year, and we're not even near the chaos yet. We're not even when they start revealing this 12-team playoff and everybody jockeying for position and how that committee's going to place people and value their wins and loss. We're not even there yet, and there's chaos. So we're just getting into it. But if Notre Dame can beat Navy and get to this second bye with the one loss, that light at the end of the tunnel of 11-1 is very, very real. You just got to get there and beat Navy. Pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Pain in the ass.
It's there, and as it always goes, as we get excited, something comes along. So
well, you know what's going to happen. They're going to announce 5 more starters are out with season-ending amputations. That's coming this week too. Like, dude, it's just one of those years. Well, we had 4 more guys that lost a leg. It's going to be like World War I, bro. Like, we had to cut his leg off in the field. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what's going to happen next.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be something, but thanks for taking my call.
No problem, Mark. Love you. Thanks, buddy. We'll talk to you.
Later.
Oh boy. Okay. I'm going to blow my nose. And then you guys, remember when I lost my voice? Like a week and a half ago, I had no voice. I woke up one day, I had no voice, and I thought it was like the sinus thing where the weather changes from warm to cold or whatever, and it kind of got cold. Then it got warm again. It's like 80 today. Now I'm all stuffed up again. I just make up your mind. Hot or cold? Son of a buck. All right, blow the nose. Be right back. Rodney, it's good to see you. I feel like I haven't talked to you in a while. The hell? Where you been, Rodney? Working? How dare you? How dare you? John lost 22. Oh, come on, Jay Carr. I don't need that stuff for my energy. You know that. And just so you guys know, that's John blowing his nose, not putting blow in his nose. Those are 2 different things. Those are 2 different things. Don't get it backwards. Pat, it's good to see you. It's good to see you, Pat. It was good to have you back in the mix, buddy. I missed you in the show, bro. I really did. John, I'm with you. I have a bad vibe, but definitely I don't have a bad vibe, but a strange vibe on this team. It is the weirdest. It is just a weird, weird thing. 248 and Rodney's coming up. 304 is coming up. 757, you're all coming up. 248, let's make it great. Good morning. What's going on?
Good morning. I'm so glad to be calling. I'm Jonathan, and I'm a first-time caller.
What's going on, buddy? Thanks for the call. What's on your mind in Notre Dame land? Are you really stuck in Michigan? Looks like this is a Michigan area code. Are you a Notre Dame person stuck up there in Michigan or what?
It's the Michigan area code, but I have a different perspective since I'm a Notre Dame student, and I'm at Notre Dame right now.
Interesting. Ooh, that's juicy. I like that. I like that. Thank you. What's going on?
So I have 2 points. Point number one is that Notre Dame will be prepared for Navy and not have a slow start, and it's very simple. Why? Because this week we have fall break, so we have no classes all this week. And what makes Notre Dame different is that we're student athletes. And what's really hard to transition is that we're students during the week, and then during the weekends we have to transition to athletes. And personally, I'm a runner, and I'm not on the D1 team, but I'm on the club team. And when we go to meets like last Friday, my friend was like, wait, now I'm an athlete now, and I took an exam this morning. But we have an entire week of no classes, which is great and helps us as students. And this goes back to your other point of why Notre Dame does better on the road than at home, is because as students we have more time to switch over into the athlete mindset. But then your counterpoint would be like, why didn't it happen at Georgia Tech? Simple. Last week was midterm week, and like when we were traveling to a meet, we weren't talking about the upcoming competition for me when I was racing, but we were talking about our midterms. So that's what makes us different.
I like that. And I always do wonder, it is good to know for football purposes where that break falls, and where you're crunching in all the books and the studying and everything. And it's good to know that because you got to have all your attention on stopping this Navy offense. And it's just good to hear maybe the guys could get a little extra rest in and maybe it just kind of take an extra breather. That's a really good point. So do you feel good about it? Notre Dame's won 5 games in a row. They're in playoff position. Are you anxious? Are you buying in fully? Are you wait and see, kind of 1 foot in, 1 foot out? Where are you at as a fan here?
I'm just really supportive of the players, and this goes to my point number 2, is that the players are 18 to 22 years old. They're our age as a student, so I support the players a lot. And in the student section, now I'm a grad student at Notre Dame, but I also did my undergrad here at Notre Dame. And in the student section, people a lot of times are like, this player is so bad, blah, 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 blah. And sometimes I'm like, then why don't you play if you're criticizing this player so much?
Yeah, it's man, it's got to be an interesting experience in that in that environment and from both sides of it. Like, I'm glad for this week the guys don't have to worry about the books as much and can get down to business. So were you there? I'm assuming you were there for the Northern Illinois game in the student section. How did that go? I'd love to know how that went.
It was very interesting because now I'm a grad student. So it's very interesting as a first-year grad student. The grad student section is a lot different. And everyone was just disappointed, and they were looking at their undergrad schools on how they were playing.
Yeah, it was.
So the grad student is very different.
Yeah,
section.
it was, man, it was just a frustrating situation. And what do you? Let's ask this: what do you make of Notre Dame's position in the AP poll? You know, you're not really moving up that much. You're kind of holding steady around that 12 spot. Do you think that's fair? Do you like where Notre Dame's at? Think they'll move up if they keep winning, or what? Or do you think they're getting a bad deal, or is it fair? What do you make of this?
I think if we continue to win, we'll move up. I think we're a bit low right now, but time will tell. And once the first college football rankings come out, I think Notre Dame will probably be higher, and then the AP poll will just adjust accordingly.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. See what happens in front of Notre Dame. A lot of these teams play each other, could maybe cancel each other out. It's just going to be really interesting to see. You know, Notre Dame has one loss, but it's a very, very bad loss. And so we will see, you know, we'll see where they fall there in a few weeks, or a couple weeks rather. Anything else, my friend? Thanks for giving me a call. I like first-time callers, and I'm glad we got you out of Michigan and into South Bend.
Thank you so much. And I guess final bonus point, we shouldn't look too far ahead, but see, Notre Dame is 11-1. I really hope we don't get the Friday game, given that exams finish that Thursday. I think as much time between the playoff game, if we were to win out, would be good and helpful for
Interesting.
the students. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, how that all falls with the calendar. I remember everybody made a big deal when it came out on social media. Notre Dame was adjusting the academic calendar to be able to change those finals to allow for, you know, preparations for a playoff game. That I thought that was very interesting. I'm not used to those academic concessions coming from Notre Dame and to support the football. I'm not used to that.
Thank you so much. That's all I have. I really love listening to your show, and have a great day.
Oh, thank you. God bless you, and good luck with the rest of your Notre Dame academic career. Feel free to give me a call again. I mean, that's a person who's smart, you guys. I'm talking about undergrad at Notre Dame, grad school at Notre Dame. That's a lot of brain power that I don't got. Well, text Chris. These three biased voters are why ND got jumped in the AP. Kate Rogerson. I don't know who Kate is, but we don't like I don't know what you want to say. Notre Dame doesn't play anybody. Does BYU play that many good teams? And they're undefeated and they keep moving up. Like, who does Iowa State play that I'm that impressive with? I don't know. But some of this stuff, it's just not apples to apples. It's hard. How do you compare all these? Rodney with the $348 holler. So much parody in college football that year. I like the way he said parody as if it's joking. I like that. Not parody, which is different. And I like it. I don't know if he did it on purpose, but I like it. Can't complain. They'd be number 5 if they were undefeated. Listen, there's an argument that when you lose to Northern Illinois, you're not allowed to complain about anything that happens with your ranking the rest of the year. I don't know if you subscribe to that or not, but there is a theory that says if you lose to Northern Illinois at home, you're not allowed to complain about anything. And you take what you get. I don't know. Do you agree with that or not agree with that? Couple more chat real quick, and then we'll go right back to the calls. If you're on hold, you're going to be on the air. That's for sure. I did see this. What do you guys make of this? So I think the Swarbrick bus wreck around Eyring Ludwig is our once-in-a-lifetime fall in crap and come out smelling like roses because he just stepped down in Utah. I don't know what to make of it. When they gave him his extension and all that stuff was happening, their offense was doing a good job piling points on, beating USC 2 times a year. They were doing just fine. Or he wouldn't have gotten that extension in the redone deal that Notre Dame messed up. So it's a little weird. They were doing fine, literally beating USC 2 times a year, whatever. Like, it was all going fine. And then now it's not. And he steps down and their offense struggling, whatever else is going on. And here's my point. This does not absolve Notre. If it makes it look like Notre Dame got lucky, like, oh, you sidestepped that landmine and got lucky, and then, oh yeah, you landed on the guy that's running Troy right into the ground. Like, they're one of the worst teams in America. Is our ROC from last year? Now he's running Troy into the ground. They can't do anything right. Like, if anything, you want to say maybe it was good luck and you ended up with Denbrock, but it's nothing Notre Dame gets credit for. It was all luck. They tried to hire the guy and messed it up. So it's not like they had any foresight. It was just luck. So I don't know. And again, here's the other thing. Like, I don't know. A bunch of people were like, I was telling Kent, I know you were probably upset you lost that ball game, but I was telling people, you lost and you're in perfect position to be in the playoff and win the championship anyways. Like, so yeah, you lost and it'd be nice to not lose and have more flexibility with no losses or whatever, but you lost and you're still number 4 and you're in perfect position. You have a chance to go at them again. It's not the worst spot to be in when you lose the marquee game on your schedule, because it ain't Michigan this year. A team is bad. It's amazing what happens. Has anyone taken a look at Michigan's records before Connor Stallions, Michigan's record during Connor Stallions, and Michigan's record after Connor Stallions? Why am I the conspiracy theorist for logically looking at all this and going, that's really interesting. Notre Dame was an average football team before him. Then they couldn't be beat with him, and now he's gone and they're bad again. Like, am I a conspiracy theorist for just logically looking at how much better they played when that guy was giving them the plays? Yeah, like, I'm not giving Kent crap for the Oregon loss, but I wouldn't be crying about it if I was Ohio State either. You're fine. This is not Notre Dame losing to Ohio State last year in a 4-game playoff when it pretty much kicks you out. This is not that. So I understand being frustrated as an Ohio State fan, but the dynamics have changed. That would have been a good feather in the cap, but it didn't ruin your year. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So I don't know. What do I know? What do I know? Here's something else I'm going to tell you. This right here. My Steelers and Lions are looking good. That Lions coach, Campbell, I think he's becoming one of my favorite coaches in football. I absolutely love that guy. I absolutely love that guy. I love how much he loves football. I love how much he loves his team. You could see it. It's genuine. The guy's literally in tears talking about football and his team on the podium like every week. I love that guy. He is the most football-y football coach of all time. I absolutely love Dan Campbell with the Lions. It is the perfect fit. He would lay down in front of a semi for his team. They would run through a wall for him. It warms my heart to see a guy like that loves football so genuinely do what he's doing. I love the whole vibe. He just loves football and loves his team so much. It's just beautiful. It's just beautiful. I love it. That guy is my favorite. Every time he talks, I love him more. Look at this. Oh, you're darn right. John was loving Illinois this weekend. First callers, I'm coming right back to you. First ranked on ranked matchup in Champaign in 24 years, and Illinois beat the hell out of Michigan. They don't have any off. Their passing game's worse than Notre Dame's. They don't have a quarterback. They're out of sorts. It's a mess. I'm here for it. I love it. They're out of sight, out of mind. They're not winning anything. And I need that all to keep happening. And then I need them all depressed because this season went down the crapper. And then I need that 90-day window from the notice of allegations to about run out at the end of this season. And then they announce, oh, you had a bad year on the field this year? That's great. And last year, wiping it off the board. Asterisk. We're wiping it off the board. Asterisk. That's what I want. So I need them to be catching double losses here. So on the field this year and then get nailed for what they did off the field last year. That's what I need, and I want it. I need and I want it. What else did I highlight? Something else here. Yeah, look at this. 63%. You guys wonder why I always just say ESPN is such garbage. Though they had nothing to go off of in the Notre Dame game when they were announcing it, they had no talking points. They had no idea what to do. And the only angle the producers had to put in these guys' ear is push the playoff thing, independent, 63%. They don't have a conference championship, so you got to blow everybody up. They mentioned it 64 times. They put the graphic up of Notre Dame's playoff chances 146 times. You saw more of that graphic with their playoff chances than you did replays of the actual game happening. They had no angle. They had nowhere else to go. They didn't know how to talk about Notre Dame and how to cover it. So they slammed that in your face all day. And it's almost insulting, like they were talking down to me, like everybody didn't realize Notre Dame's independent. It was like they were talking to a 5-year-old. It started to piss me off the way those guys were acting like they were breaking news by telling everybody in America Notre Dame wasn't in a conference. Thanks a lot, ESPN. I never would have knew that without you. Super annoying. That channel is garbage. And you know what else I'm getting sick of? I don't watch it on moral principle, but I see it on Twitter every Saturday morning. It's elder abuse, what they're doing to Corso. It is elder abuse. Somebody call the authorities on ESPN and have them investigate. It's not right. It ain't right what you're doing to that guy. Anyways, that's what I have to say about that. This is the most balanced season across the landscape I've seen in 20 years. Callers, I'm coming back to you. Hang in there. I got to balance this out. What I think this is, a couple different things. Number one, the Big Ten and the SEC expanding and doing away with divisions has a big part of this. You're getting more of a well-rounded sample schedule. You can't just hide in a weak division and cruise anymore and have one big game a year. You're not able to do that. So you're getting a better sample size of teams on teams here in this expanded Big Ten SEC footprint with no divisions. That's one part of it. In the Big Ten, I do think the travel's starting to become a part of it with anybody that has to go West Coast, East Coast, whatever they're learning. That's not the easiest thing to do. I also think it's harder to have really deep teams. Those top teams that get all the talent, what's happening, I think, is if guys aren't playing early, they're leaving and they're not willing to wait. So it's becoming very, very hard to have the deepest roster you used to have because I think guys are leaving if they're not playing early and they think they should. So it's harder. So I think you are seeing some more spread out talent. And it's going to be really, really interesting. It feels like anybody could beat anybody. And it also feels like it feels like anybody can beat anybody. And it also feels like it just feels like there's more big games. It feels like every week now you're like, oh man, I got to watch this game. What a good matchup. Brand name on brand name, top ranked teams. It just feels like there's way more of that. And I like it. Secret agent. Then we'll go back to the calls. Even if we make the playoff, we're still going nowhere. So is that still a measure of a great season? All right, here's the deal. I've thought about this. I agree with you. I don't think Notre Dame's a championship winning team. I'm not sitting here thinking if Notre Dame just gets in the playoff, they're going to win 4 games with the way we're operating and we're going to win 4 games and win the championship. I do not think Notre Dame's in that category. However, isn't it still better to make the playoff? Like there are multiple things here in play at the same time. Just because I don't think Notre Dame's a championship roster this year doesn't mean they may as well go 8-4 and be in the Frosted Flakes Pop-Tart Bowl or whatever. Right? Like there's multiple things you're doing at once. I don't think Notre Dame's a championship level team, but that doesn't mean you should just not make the playoff and lose as many games as possible because you're not going to win it all. You got a recruiting class to preserve. You have $16 million on the line you don't get if you don't make the playoff field. Like you have the perception of where you're at, like in all of this. Like you got to remember all that before the year. Oh, year 3, Marcus Freeman, the playoffs, the goal, whatever. Like you still have some of these markers to reach. So there's multiple things layered in here. Just because I don't think they're going to win the championship doesn't mean it's okay to not make the playoff. Like, you still want to reach that for perceptual reasons, recruiting reasons, financial reasons, all of that. But I've thought about what you're saying, but it's not a reason to not need us to still be in a good position. I'll be back again. I'm having a rough morning with sinuses. And then we're Rodney, you're coming up 304-7572. I'm sorry, you guys. Unbelievable. I need Advil, cold, and sinus. Woo! That's better. Omar, how dare you? How dare you, Omar? 818, let's make it great. Rodney, thanks for the donation. What's up, buddy? 304-757 coming up. What's up, Rodney?
Yeah, I'm John. Been too long. Yeah, it's been a couple weeks since I last called in. But listen, man. It's just the shifts I'm working absolutely coincide directly with when the shows are on, and then after the game, literally, I have our band's been playing out, starting literally at the time like 7:30, and then it's like I can't call in. So anyway, that's all, man. Just been real busy, but always watching the show all the time. Always giving you likes,
Appreciate
stuff like
it.
that.
Thank
So,
you.
all right. Yeah, for sure, man. Anyway, a few things, because there's been some comments I've seen that kind of have ignited some thoughts here, which is interesting. Starting with what I said in my tagline about the parody, it just goes even for, and I like that. Yeah, Parity or Parody, and yeah, that was on purpose because it is so weird that this is a year that you would. I mean, Indiana looks absolutely legit, dude. They look like a really strong team. I mean, possibly a great team. I'm shocked. But out of nowhere, the Hoosiers, I mean, just annihilated Nebraska last week. And Nebraska's a decent team this year, pretty good. And, Army and Navy, boy, this is going to be a year that Army-Navy game takes on a whole new meaning, with two teams potentially still in 5 at that point. And I'm looking up and down the list, and I'm like, I was a little perturbed when I saw Notre Dame didn't go up again for like the second week in a row. But then I looked at the rankings, and I forgot. I did not realize Iowa State was undefeated. I thought they had one loss, and I'm like, "What the hell? They jumped us? What the hell is that all about?" Last night they're undefeated.
Yeah,
so
and then BYU is BYU's in the same boat too. So BYU's kind of in that position too, flying under the radar in a conference that's weird.
Don't look now, John. Don't look now. Don't look now, but Indiana's about to pass us up too. I mean, Come on, they're playing terrific football. I mean, but having said that, I'm not in the slightest bit worried if we went out making the playoff. We will be in the playoffs, no question. No question. There's no way on this earth they keep 11-1 Notre Dame team out of even if we're struggling in those games. I can't think of a scenario where that happens. But I will say, it is wow. Up and down the rankings, and I'm like, it's fair. I mean, it's fair. There are some lost teams or undefeated teams still. There aren't going to be, obviously, as we get to the later part of the season. Things are going to start happening. Alabama, 15th in the country now after the second loss. So, it's just Notre Dame that's being hurt from a bad loss. I mean, that was Alabama's second. Obviously, they were to better competition, but
yeah,
I think they're fair, man. I gotta say, I think the rankings right now are pretty fair, but I'm not worried about us getting there if we went out. It's a big if. John, I'm scared about this Navy game, man. I'm really, really scared. The one thing I feel good about, I'm not worried about Notre Dame overlooking Navy or anything like that. Obviously, they got our attention. There's no question. It's just, 2 years ago, Al Golden played a great had a great game plan in the first half, and you remember that second half, if Navy had 2 more minutes, they win that game, no question.
Yeah.
But then blew them out last year. And I think, the big deal for me, man, is what's got me scared are these slow starts. This is not the kind of team you want to be down 10-3, 14-6, or something like that. That's not the team you want to be down to with that ball control offense they got. The key for Notre Dame, in my opinion, you got to keep Navy to field goals. You have to hold them to field goals. You're not going to just shut them down. I just don't see that. Maybe, his defense has a tendency to, as the game goes on, to dominate the opponent. It's like clockwork, man. It's like after a while, you are who you are. This is a team that starts extremely slow, and then, man, as the game goes on, just gets better and better. And I think that's both the case with Denbrock and Golden. Obviously, it took Denbrock a little longer to figure it out because he had, he didn't have a whole year behind him knowing who his team was. But you're starting to see that with the offense, too. They're figuring things out. They're getting better and better and better. Passing game's picking up a little bit. Leonard looks more comfortable. I do have a little bit of I was in total agreement with you guys early in the season about Jeremiah Love getting more touches. I got to tell you, I don't feel that way now. You got to understand, man. You got Jeremiah Love, but you also have Jadarian Price, and you also have Riley Leonard, who are three guys who can run the ball. Great. I mean, and honestly, as we get later in the season, I think they're handling it the right way at this point, man. You want fresh legs. You want to have that. The passing game's getting a little bit better now. I do agree early on in the season when none of that was working, why didn't you lean on him more than, that Northern Illinois game? If he gets 5 more touches, we probably win the game. It's just, that's annoying. But whatever. That is what it is. It's in the past. I just think this is a fascinating year, man. There's just so much parity in college football. There just is. It's crazy.
Yeah, dude. I don't think I'm dreaming that, Rodney, that every week there's more games that are close that you think shouldn't be close. And it feels like there's more ranked on ranked, like really intriguing matchups than we've ever had before. I feel both of those this year. Maybe I'm dreaming it. Maybe it's really changing, but it really does feel like anybody could play with anybody, especially in the Big Ten and the SEC. I'm seeing a lot of that. It's made for a really interesting watch.
It absolutely has. John, it's really, I'm telling you, what I feel about this year, and I think things are going to start scaling back a little bit with NIL and stuff like that as we go along throughout this process. Things already seem to be a little less Wild West, if it's, it just feels that way.
Where'd you go? Did you just get sucked into a black hole into the atmosphere? Rodney, I don't know where you went. Rodney. Give me a call back if you want. You just totally cut out. You went to outer space. John need a counseling session on Wednesday. Dr. John I don't know if I'm the one to give it to you, but we'll see. Yeah, the dude's mic was popping. I don't know what happened, Rodney. Something was going on. 304, you're coming up. Text Chris. I don't know why I said it with an accent. Text Chris. Honestly, all this talk about Army and Navy, they do not have our talent level even with our injuries. Accurate statement. If these teams can line up and beat us, we absolutely have the wrong head coach. The problem is, Rodney, I'll pop you back on. That's the interesting thing is that game's never been about talent and star levels. It's about discipline. And that's the whole idea of them knowing they're not going to have the same amount of talent as the teams they play. So you need to make up for it. So what do? You run a gimmicky offense, shorten the game. It maximizes every mistake, gets overblown. You have less possessions. You got to score on them more. Here's what I'm going to say. And then I'll pop Rodney back on and then go to 304. Here's what I'm going to say. I've seen a bunch of people tell me, John, I don't really think Navy's going to be able to stop Notre Dame's offense. And not that it's a great Notre Dame offense, but just they shouldn't be able to stop Notre Dame's offense. I've had a bunch of people tell me that. My response to that is, since when does Notre Dame need the defense to stop our offense? I've seen our offense stop our own offense this year all the time. What do you mean? The way we play offense, we don't need the defense to stop us. We could stop us. We could stop us, man. So that's where I'm at on this. But Notre Dame, yeah, exactly, Irish Cubby. The Notre Dame offense could stop itself at any time. And the other thing is, one holding penalty. Oh, there you go. Now you're punting on that drive because you're 10 yards back. Like, all it takes is something to get behind schedule, whatever. A missed run block, and it goes for nothing, and now you're 2nd and 12. Like, it's just, I've seen Notre Dame slow down itself. I don't need Navy to do it. So I've been talking about feeling incremental improvement with this offense, feeling like Riley Leonard's getting more comfortable in what we're doing and all that. You got to be more efficient than we have been in this game to win this game. And that's just the way, that's how Navy plays the game. They shorten it, and all your mistakes get maximized and overblown. So I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. If they're going to try and ground and pound, I don't know if they're going to try and bombs away, throw the ball. You know, there's your Army-Navy reference. Throw the ball and try and get ahead of them. I don't know if they're going to try ground control, see if they can run the ball. I don't know. But we got all week to worry about it. Rodney, you're back from outer space. 304, don't hang up. You're coming up next. Right. Okay, you're back.
Yeah. I have no idea what happened. I was sitting in the same place I was. It must have been my Wi-Fi because I was on Wi-Fi calling.
I think you got abducted. You got abducted, and now you're back on Earth.
Maybe that's what happened. Maybe it very well could be. Yeah. So getting back to Navy, Army, Navy. Look, yeah, you're right. The great equalizer. I'm sorry. This is a year I'm really concerned about this game, man. I know we have more talent, but that's not really where it's at. It's more about
the discipline,
how you control the game.
Yeah. Yes, you're right.
It's discipline, man.
Yeah.
I mean, no one's more disciplined than the military academies. Let's face it. And that can be a great equalizer. Listen, win the damn game. Actually, I don't care how it happens. I'll hate it because I'll be biting my fingernails all game long. But if we come out and we win 31-28, hey, we won the game, move on. And then I think I think Army might actually even be slightly better than Navy this year. I don't know that, we definitely know they're like right neck and neck in the rankings, but because they come second and they've already seen an offense very similar, and because look, man, Notre Dame plays really, really well in those Shamrock Series games. Say whatever you want about them. You have problems with their weird uniforms they pick or where they're traveling to, but they always seem to play well in those games. So I'm more concerned about Navy than Army, but, we'll see. One more thing, John, I'll let you go. The guy said, whatever, we get to the playoffs, we're still not a great team. Well, wait a second. I'm not saying we're a great team. I think we understand we're not a great team. Certainly not yet. But first of all, let's just say we get to the playoffs. Okay, let's just pretend we do. I mean, Freeman's definitely shown the ability to get his team ready for the big games. So, I would think they're going to have as good a chance as anybody once we get there, especially looking at the people in front of them. I mean, I don't see a super, super dominant team this year. Yes, other teams that are better than we are at this point, yes. But 4 or 5 games from now, who the hell knows? And even if they don't, even if they lose their first game, John, I've been talking about this for years. Again, everybody's got to try to understand. I know we're all starved for a big-time winner here. But when you hire a guy that's 36 years old or whatever he was when he got the job, or 37, 38, whatever it was, who's never been a head coach before, there are going to be growing pains. What I wanted to see was that it's show improvement. Freeman, while there's still mistakes, things to improve on, of course, Freeman has improved every year. I mean, there's no doubt he's getting better at the feel of this every year. It's been more incremental than we want, but again, I think 8, 9, and 4 last year, 10 and 3 last year. expect them to be better than that this year, whether we make the playoffs or not. Guys, it's getting better and better and better, but this is a really fascinating year. It's going to be fascinating, I think, for years to come. So, yeah, this whole time of, we're crap. We can't beat those. Those teams are losing games too, guys. Those teams are losing games too. I mean, just keep that in mind, and I'll leave it at that, John, but this is a fascinating year.
It is. All right, Rodney.
It's been a lot of fun to watch, honestly.
This year genuinely really does feel very, very different than the college football I'm used to seeing all these decades. Like, it really does feel different, and we're not even really into this playoff thing yet. And it already feels very, very different and intriguing and more well-rounded. And it's really interesting, Rodney. So we're going to see what we're going to get.
There is something to be lost. There is something you lose in that. But I'm telling you, what's good to know, though, is there also has been something that's been gained. I mean, you're not seeing as many of those big-time rivalry games that you used to see, but you're seeing, or at least not with the same intensity, but you're seeing other games you would maybe never see during the year. So it kind of all evens out. And I got to tell you, I think college football's done a pretty good job of, there's still the pageantry of college football that still exists, the bands, the tailgating, the regional, love for the teams that comes with college that you don't get in the pros.
Yeah.
That still remains. So anyway, that's it, John. But it's a fascinating year, and Notre Dame is looking better and better and better all the time. I just don't know that injury thing, man. Also, guys, keep that in mind too, man. For a team that's as much of a mass unit as we are, I think the coaching staff's done a very, very good job up to this point.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting rush to the end here. And as long as Notre Dame has that one loss, it's going to be really, really interesting. Rodney, thanks for touching base, man. It's been a few weeks. Hope the band is doing good, and I'd love to see it sometime.
Absolutely, John. Have a great one, and we will talk to you soon, my friend.
See you later. Bye. Take it easy, buddy. 3:04, you're coming up. Look at this. Since the Northern Illinois game, Notre Dame's averaged over 40 points per game and given up just under 12. That explains how you haven't lost, right? That explains how you have not lost since the Northern game. All right. I'm going to yell. I'm going to get mad at something. Look at that. It's not going to be this. The sauce, $5 hour. I'm a Notre Dame IU fan currently attending Indiana University. Life's never been better, John. I bet, I expected Indiana to win that football game. I put a login on the Sports Illustrated website. We do a big thing where you pick all the games against the spread, and I had Indiana winning. I didn't think it'd be like that. I mean, geez, they piled it on. Now the question is, Indiana student, hasn't Indiana's schedule been pretty light so far, though? Like the first half of I want to give them full credit for being undefeated at this point, but I don't believe it's been a murderer's row. You're not playing they have not played the top end teams in the Big Ten. They're not playing Ohio State, Penn State, and Oregon and stuff doing this. And so I want to be like, I don't think they played the toughest competition yet. But it's really interesting. Thanks a lot for the sauce. Yeah, that's definitely an interesting it's definitely a good time to be in Indiana in that way. Yeah. The Hoosiers haven't played Northern Illinois. You don't know what it's like to play a tough team yet. Unbelievable. Look at this, Donnie. I'm going to get mad at Donnie. Here we go. It's funny. You only beat A&M and ND fans think they're great. Before I react to this, I want to be fair. Maybe Donnie hasn't been around a long time. Maybe he just logged in this minute and didn't watch the beginning of the show or watch any of my other stuff or whatever. I spent 5 minutes saying in this episode, I don't believe Notre Dame's a title winning team. Like I don't think that's in the cards. You just need to make the playoff and get in there with one loss and see what you could do. I've been talking about Notre Dame fans being half checked out since Northern Illinois, not believing in the team because of Northern Illinois, knowing with all the injuries and the offense, we're like not that great. So Donnie, I just think this is something you wanted to say and you woke up today and you were like, you know what, damn it, I'm going to say this because I I want it to be true, and I don't like Notre Dame, and I don't like Notre Dame fans, and I don't like Notre Dame people. And so this is what I'm going to say. But I don't think you've been listening. I don't think you've been listening. No one's saying we're great, Donnie. No one's saying we're great. Definitely not me. I haven't watched it all. I just have Notre Dame friends. If you have Notre Dame fans that think we are great this year, your Notre Dame friends are stupid. And you could tell them I said that. If you have Notre Dame fans and they think we're great and they're running their mouth or flexing about how good Notre Dame is, your Notre Dame friends are stupid. You don't lose to Northern Illinois and then act like you're great. So if your Notre Dame friends are doing that, Donnie, they're not smart Notre Dame fans. The correct angle is we lost to Northern Illinois. 80 of our guys are injured, and the offense is still nowhere where it needs to be. And you're just hoping you don't lose again, and you're just kind of watching with one eye closed, waiting for something bad to happen, but kind of hopeful something good happens, and you don't really know where you fall. That's the truth, Donnie. That's the truth, Donnie. But there shouldn't be any Notre Dame fans like... How can there be any Notre Dame fans that are all like, we're awesome? Like, you lost to Northern Illinois at home. You're not entitled to have that kind of flex, man. You're just not. 304 is calling. He's the one I'm talking about. Well, I'm going to put him on the air in a second. My nose is falling apart. This is bad, you guys. I'm struggling today. I'm fighting it. Donnie from Spartanburg. Son of a buck. This makes for bad radio. It makes for bad radio, but so does blowing your schnoz on the air. At least I go off the air. 304 is on right now. 832 are coming to you after. What's going on, 304?
How's it going, John?
It's going fine. Are you connected to this Donnie character who's saying that we're acting like Notre Dame's winning the Super Bowl this year? What's the deal?
I'm afraid so. He's a West Virginia fan, if that explains anything.
He's a West Virginia fan. Yeah, that does explain some. I mean, so what's the deal? You've been kind of like bumping up for Notre Dame here, trying to hold it down for us, or what's the dynamic here? What are we working with, man?
I'm trying to, kick the tires, but you know how Notre Dame fans, non-Notre Dame fans can be. They hate it, think we're the best. So I got to try to get at him somehow.
Yeah, I mean, it is a little tough, man. If you're in the West Virginia area and everything, and like it is a little interesting to be a Notre Dame fan out that way. Although I do know some people out that way. There's some Notre Dame people out there in there.
Yeah, we're few and far between, but they still hold the 88 championship, close to their heart. So.
Man, it's been too long. It's just been too long. Yeah. 88's a long way. Hey, it's kind of hard to hear you, West Virginia caller. That's not doing good for the stereotype. Are you in a weird area or something, or on a speaker or something? It's just kind of hard to hear.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, there you go. That's a little better, man. So I don't know. What do you make it? What do you make? I'm telling you, the call dropped off. It's just not a good. That's rough, man. Like, and it's not good for that, like, West Virginia stereotype of like in a coal mine in the middle of West Virginia somewhere calling from 1998 about Notre Dame used to be good. Like, I'm sorry, man. Like, I'm just making my moonshine. I'm just making my moonshine in West Virginia, and I don't have any cell service. God bless that man. And his friend was in here getting ahead of it, giving him a hard time. It's hilarious. You can't make this shit. You can't make it up, folks. 832. What do you want to do?
How's it going, John?
It's going okay. What I was really hoping for is one more day to be able to celebrate Notre Dame's victory, and then we'll start worrying about defending Navy. That's kind of what I was going for. We'll see if we can make it happen. What do you think?
Well, you going into, people talk about like Notre Dame fans think it's a championship team and all that stuff. And I'm going to agree we're nowhere near it, because if we're having to worry each and every week how this team's going to, come out and perform, that's not championship caliber, right? So let's just call it what it is. We're enjoying the ride for now and kind of going through our depths. But I'll have to say, though, I've been watching a lot of other games for teams in front of us, just because getting anxious for another one of those crazy weekends. And I got to say, especially watching the Texas game the other night, was kind of shocking. So I'm not finding as many more dominant teams in front of us as there has been in the past.
Yeah,
so
it doesn't feel like you have like those teams that are like you just figure they're not going to lose. You know what I mean? Like you just don't have that this year.
Right. Yeah, you just don't have that, and so like it gives you a little bit of optimism, I guess, going forward. If we were to make it in the playoffs, there's like a small, like in Dumb and Dumber, right? You're saying there's a chance, right? So like it's not like you think automatically we're going to get blown out or anything like that. Obviously, we got to get there, but I just I'm a little optimistic. And then going into the game that over the weekend, I gotta say overall, I thought all sides of the ball we looked really good. If I was going to be nitpicky at all, obviously that interception we wanted to take back because that was a very poor ball. But then at the same time, Bo kind of gave up on the route, so it's kind of a mix of both. A little frustrated with that, and then our punting game still our Australian kicker. It just blows our mind. He's just not hitting what we keep hoping he's going to hit. So
I don't understand.
That part is a little frustrating.
I don't understand that whole thing. I was told he could kick it 70 yards in the air and was doing it in August, and he even kicks a knuckleball that nobody can. The guys were fumbling it because he kicks a knuckleball 70 yards and he could angle it right out of bounds at the 3-yard line at an angle and all this. And then we get into the year and I'm not seeing any of that. So I don't know what the deal is, but he can go back to Australia. I'm not seeing what the big hype was.
Right. The only thing I would say is, and it's been kind of an ongoing thing for us for the last few games, slow starts, and that's not going to help us against the academies, obviously. And if we start off slow, what I'm worried about, and it's not, obviously if he's injured, but I'm worried about our kicking game at this point. Because like you're watching the fill-ins right now, and he's barely making it in there. But if it's going to come down to it at the end of the game, we're going to have to kick a 50-plus yarder to squeak through if we have another one of those slow starts. I want Mitch in there. So
man, it's I don't know what you're getting. The special teams are all over the board, man. You pulled out all of the. You pulled out all the stops with a couple tricks there. You got up and blocked a kick. They had an old school muff. And you had all this stuff happening. The punter's inconsistent. It's just a wild ride.
Yeah, and also I didn't write down the numbers or keep tally, but I felt like a lot of the kickoffs that we've had too, they actually ran them out majority of the time, which tells us he's not the fill-in's not kicking it out deep enough to basically freeze that ball and get it where it needs to be up to 25. So
yeah, it's man, I just don't know. I'm just trying to figure out where this is all at, man. And I just don't know. Do you feel what I feel? You kind of want to buy in, but you kind of don't want to buy in. You're kind of excited, but you're kind of nervous for every game. You're not overfilled with confidence and bravado, but you're not convinced that we're terrible either. It's just this really, really weird place to be.
Well, and I gotta say, watching this game, just obviously it was fun or whatever through the first half or whatever, but the second half when they started doing all those crazy trick plays and all that stuff, I'm like, well, we haven't seen this before. And then Buckner's in the game, doing a fake field goal. I'm like, what just happened there? It was very. That part was kind of exciting because it's not Notre Dame like. Let's just say that we don't normally take those chances.
Yeah, it's I'm telling you, man, it's like it's a weird team this year. It's a weird team this year. The schedules, it isn't just that Notre Dame's a weird team this year with the way it's put together and then been falling apart with the injuries. It's not just that. Notre Dame's schedule has just been, nobody could have predicted anything that happened with Notre Dame's schedule. The big high week 1, the big low week 2, nobody would have predicted that 1-2 punch. And then figuring that USC and Florida State would be dog crap garbage, but Army and Navy you'd have to worry about. No one saw any of this coming. It's all bizarre. And all I know is you just need to keep finding ways to win. That's all I know.
Yep. Well, and I got to tell you, I got to give props to defense and whoever worked tackle drills this past week. You felt every pop that was on that screen this past Saturday. They were like, the linebackers were hitting hard. The safeties were hitting hard. You know, I don't think there's enough ice in the stadium to cover Georgia Tech's wounds. I felt like every time you turned around, somebody was down after getting popped. So,
yeah, and you know what else too?
ABA
you know what else? I need
Bowen,
that.
Holy cow!
I need that against Navy. That crispness with the hitting you're referencing, I need that against Navy too. So I think that's a really good sign that they were like on point like that and that focused and all that. That's the kind of hitting you need against Navy. I'm here for it, man. Pop them. Pop them, pop them. Hit that quarterback every play.
And that QB, if there was another quarter, he wasn't playing at the end of that game after they got that, that last, trash touchdown. He could barely lift his arm up. Like there was no way he was going to make another quarter. But another good tackler I want to bring up was Osbury as well. That open field tackle that he had that basically, it looks like he was just driving that guy to the other side of the field. It was quite impressive because that's very hard to do.
Yeah.
One-on-one with that guy in the back.
Yeah, it's so, man, I don't know. And then, okay, so let's switch it over a little bit. Let me ask you this. I'm trying to hit different topics with you guys. What do you make of Notre Dame's rank? Do you think it's fair where they're at, right around 12? Not worried about it yet. We're not even in the playoff. Like, what do you make of it? Do you think it's a pretty fair ranking considering what we've done? Or are you mad that BYU and Iowa State are jumping Notre Dame? Or what do you think?
So I'm a little upset, but not like overly, because you can't. Again, the NIU loss is pretty damning, and I feel like they're holding over our heads a little bit more than I think they should, because obviously I think one of the writers accidentally left Notre Dame off the ballot altogether. I forgot which writer it was, but she said she would put them down at 13 or something like that. I think I read, but she didn't actually put it on the ballot in time. And then I think those people in front of us, and I guess you can judge however you want. I think we would beat BYU. I think we'd beat Iowa State, and so on and so forth. But that's not how they're going to measure those up in these polls. I'm hoping that the playoff committee, whenever they look at it, they'll look at it kind of in that fashion. But the one that bothers me probably most, and I guess this is the Notre Dame in me, and I don't know but Miami. Miami, in my book, at this point, should have 3 losses.
Yep. They've been begging.
I'm
begging for losses,
so
and they keep getting bailed out. They keep getting bailed out by calls, by luck, by everything. They keep getting bailed out and moving up. It's annoying.
That has to change. That has to change in football, because I got to tell you, even when Notre Dame plays other ACC teams, ACC replay officials, there's a certain bias about it, and I think it needs to be removed from the game. Period. It needs to be an unbiased replay booth, because there's obviously an agenda to get Miami to be the sword-carrying ACC member in the playoffs.
Yeah, I just can't believe they just keep winning. It's really annoying, dude. They've been begging for a loss and they just can't catch one. And it's really annoying. And also, they don't have the toughest schedule either. That's the other problem. They're not going to be that heavily tested till probably the championship game. It's really annoying. And they got Florida State, I think, their next game. Whoop-de-doo. That's not going to be a game. So I don't know.
Yeah. So we'll see how they go. They may get in it, and then they're going to get stomped. And it's going to be ACC officials doing the replay, in the playoffs. So.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's going to be an interesting ride, an interesting grind, and we'll see. Anything else, my friend? Thanks for calling.
No, that's all I had for you. I was pretty excited for the weekend. I know it's been a while since I've called in, because I usually have meetings during this time, but they got canceled, so I was able to call in and just kind of, talk good Notre Dame football weekend. So we just got to stay on the edge of our seats the next couple weeks.
Yep, it's going to be an interesting journey. Hey, thanks for the call. Hit me up again later in the week. We'll worry more about defending Navy. All right.
All right. Talk to you later.
Have a good one. Thank you. So let's look at this. The 80s guy. Notre Dame lost to NIU and dropped to 18th. Alabama lost to Vandy and dropped 5 spots to 6th. I understand what you're saying, 80s guy, but there's a few things involved. I mean, you can't. Even Vandy is in Northern Illinois. Like, that's the thing. Even Vandy is not Northern Illinois. It's an SEC team. Like, it's not NIU. And it was at home. And Notre Dame doesn't have the credibility that Alabama has. That's a big part of it. Like, Alabama, you could say it's not fair or not right or whatever. And I'm just saying Alabama, they had some credibility there. I will say this. Does it surprise anybody? I wasn't even sure that Alabama was going to drop down to where they did behind Notre Dame with 1 loss, all the way down to 15th. I figured that there might be somebody there going, oh, I don't know. Even though Alabama has 2 losses, they probably beat Notre Dame, and they probably would. They're down at 15. They're down at 15. Couple more things here. Mark Holzum was writing about the first downs being key for defending Navy. It is so accurate, so right. You have got to get Navy off timing, off schedule, behind the sticks. You have got to. That means you can't be giving up 4.5 yards on a stupid dive or pitch play on first down, and then it's 2nd and 5. You're dead. You cannot do it. So you gotta get them behind the sticks, behind the schedule. And how do you do that? You gotta bust up their plays, penetration, get in those pitch lanes. Make it so you're behind the line of scrimmage and there's nowhere to go with the damn ball. You gotta do all that stuff. You've got to do all that stuff. So it's really, really tricky, but you're totally right about first down. You got to get them behind schedule. What's annoying to me is when Navy has like a bad play and it still gains 3.5, 4 yards on the ground. Like, it's just a run-in-the-mill play, but the way they pitch it and run it out, you tackle them and they get 4.5 yards. Now it's 2nd and 5. You can do anything you want. It can't be that way. Notre Dame has more athleticism and more talent and more star power and more bulk, even with all the injuries. You got to get in those lanes. You got to disrupt the timing. You got to ruin what they want to do. Here's the other thing I'm going to say. Oh, boy. I'm calling this right now. Calling it right now. Okay, Beavis. Which one are you, W. Smith? Are you Beavis or are you Butthead? Pick. By the way, if you want to talk about Beavis and Butthead, they're not all the same. All those seasons, Mike Judge's voice changed. Certain iterations of those guys' voices are really good, and other iterations of their voices in certain seasons I don't like as much. The voices are a big deal to me. And like Butthead's voice is perfect in some of those seasons, and other ones it's not as good with Judge's voice changing. It's got to be the right, like the movie Beavis and Butthead Do America. The voices were perfect. That is peak B&B voices is what you got in that movie. Some of the early and then the late I didn't like as much, but that era was the perfect voice era for those guys. Here's the other thing I'm not here for. And I know it's going to happen. And I'm going to hate it. I am not here for Navy and Army. Yo, of course I got impressions, but I can't do it with the sinus problem. I got to wait till I clear up. You got to... Everybody's talking about Beavis and Butthead now. One of the best, dumbest creations ever. Dude, come on, man. Those guys are hilarious. And if you wonder why I'm the way I am, it's because I grew up watching that. Here's the problem. I am not here for Notre Dame to defend the line of scrimmage, get up there and hit the pitch man, tackle the quarterback, stop the fullback dive. Everybody's crashing. Everybody's crashing the line of scrimmage, right? Run game, run game, run game. And then you know what they're going to do. Oh, Navy's quarterback, he left the submarine and he faked the pitch. And then instead he went around and then he threw it. And there's no Notre Dame defenders there because everybody was sucked up to the line of scrimmage to stop the pitch. But they did a fake-a-rooney. And the little guy from the Navy threw it. And there's no Notre Dame guy there. Look at what a novelty it is that Navy tricked Notre Dame. I'm not here for it. I'm already mad because I know it's going to happen and they're going to make a big deal about it on TV, and I'm not here for it. Don't fall for it. I want none of those passes to work. None. I'm telling you, I'm already sick of it. I already know what it's going to be. Oh, look at the trick from Navy. I'm not here for it. I have zero patience. I just know how this is going to go. It's just, I've seen it a million times. I know how it's going to go. Oh, Notre Dame's crashing the line. Oh, to hit the pitch man. And then they're going to fake it. And then the guy's going to throw it. And there's no Notre Dame secondary guy back there. And Morrison is getting his hip worked on. And nobody's back there. And it's going to be a big deal. And the announcers are going to go nuts. And they're going to go, oh, there's the new Navy passing game. I hate it already. I'm not here for it. It's unacceptable. Don't give up any of those passes. I'm not doing it. But I could already see it coming from both of these stupid-ass teams. And I mean that with all due respect, given that they're a military academy. But you know what I'm saying when I say stupid teams. Roger Dodger, you got problems, bro. You got problems. USC season wasted. Guess I can go to the World Series, though. You guys got problems, man. That roster is still not where you guys want. I don't think you have the depth on both sides of the ball that you want. I don't think they've recruited well enough. It's up front. Up front for sure. I don't think they've recruited well enough. Like, whatever. You got problems. So I don't know. I checked that score. You guys were winning by 2 touchdowns late in the game, and I didn't even check the score again. And then later in the night, I heard you. I'm writing articles, and I hear you lose. Like, you got problems, and it didn't get any easier because you got some other losable games before Notre Dame goes out to the Coliseum. So, yeah, let's see if Coward's still, saying that the whole college football world's going to revolve around LA again because Lincoln Riley's in town. He was a fanboy all about it. Now he's quiet. Yeah, exactly. USC fans can go back surfing. Hang 10, bro. Get out there to the beach. Go to Hollyweird. Go to I don't know what you do out there in California. Go shopping or do something rich people do. I don't know. I don't know, Roger, but you got problems, and there's just no quick fix for, I think, where you're at. But these are some really bad Big Ten losses. Like, these are some really, really bad. Like, you can't be losing Maryland. You outside your mind. Minnesota, you outside your mind. Bad. Bad. John would fit in on Rodeo Drive. Oh, you know me. Where's the Gucci store? Yeah, I got to go shopping in get a fancy purse or something. Yeah, I'd fit right in on Rodeo Drive. I'd be looking for a place that sells a plain cheeseburger in the middle of Hollywood or something. Anyways. Oh, man. Texas Max says, I ate morning games. It's good and bad. You're going to get it out of the way real quick. That's the thing with an 11 a.m. start. You're going to know right away whether you're going to be miserable or you're going to be happy. I think I'm actually going to a Halloween party. Pretty sure I'm going to a Halloween party after that game on Saturday night. Like, I can't really get out of it. if I can't really get out of it, if the game's in the morning, I can't do like the football all day, wife's birthday, like we need to go do something. I think we're going to go to Halloween party. I think I'm going to be Joe Dirt. I got a wig. I got a mullet wig. I think I'm going to do the Joe Dirt, man. It's too hard to drink with the mask on when I do the Michael Myers in a bar. I got to sip my Miller Lite through a straw. It really takes away from like the Michael Myers vibes when I'm drinking my beer through a straw at the edge of the bar. And then I'm cutting rugs out there. I can't even see. I'm dancing and moving and stuff. I can't even see. Of course, I'm doing a post-game show, but it's going to be at like 2 o'clock, not 7 at night. Yeah, I'm doing a post-game show. 11, 12, 1, 2:30. It's going to be at like 3, not 7 or 8. Always Irish. I can totally see you out in LA shopping for some Lululemon. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do for sure. Yeah. So anyways, I think I'm going to go as Goolsby. What do you want me to do? Gain 150 pounds of muscle? Like, how am I supposed to fake that? Gain a foot and 100 pounds? Anyways, that's what I think I'm going to do. So I got a good mullet wig and a flannel or something, some cut off jean shorts. I think I'm going to be Joe Dirt. I'll probably wear that on the air here, and I'll have I'm sure the mullet wig's going to look funny with the headset thing. So we'll see. We'll see. Do not go as Marcus Freeman. I feel like it would be hard for me to replicate that outfit. I think it would get me canceled. I would also need to gain a lot. I'm not going to go as Marcus Freeman. I'm not going to go as Marcus Freeman. I don't have the muscle tone, and there's some other very obvious practical issues with me going as Marcus Freeman that I don't believe I can overcome without getting canceled. So we're not going to go as Marcus Freeman. I think it's a lot. Omar, why are you insistent that I have a do-rag on? You can pull off a Lou Holtz. I can absolutely pull off a Lou Holtz. I'm all skinny and everything, and 1 foot in the grave too. I could definitely pull up a Lou Holtz. But Kent's saying, John, it's a setup. I know it's a setup. I'm not doing it. I'm not going there. I'm not doing it. I know what they're trying to do, and they're going to get me in trouble. And I don't even have no muscle. I couldn't pull it off anyways. But I know you guys are trying to get me in trouble. Go as Lee Corso. Oh my God. Yeah, Robert Downey Jr. did it, and you could never make that movie again. And now he's getting retroactive hate for doing it. Jimmy Kimmel did it, and now he's the wokest of the woke and has a night show, and he's like a hero of the woke brigade or whatever, but he did it. I don't understand how Kimmel gets away with it. He did it, and it was just being the guys on that funny sports show. Anybody else does it and their career's over, but he does it and he's one of the, so it's fine for him. I really don't understand how that works. Anyways, all right. That's going to be it for the show, you guys. I can't breathe. I need more medicine. I'm dragging here. I'm going to take some medicine and we're going to try and feel better. We got the live stream on the Go as Hugh Freeze. Offered a lot of NIL money, and I got a bunch of contacts in my phone, and they're going to escort me to a good time. We're going to do the live stream on Patreon with Goolsby tonight, and I'll have an interesting episode for you tomorrow. A little bit of a different angle tomorrow. So thanks everybody for being here. Thanks for the donation. Thanks for the chats. I need to go blow my nose again. You don't need to see it or hear it. Thanks for being here. Love you guys. This was fun.